In the wake of the 2018 election, when I did not become governor, and there's people who think I'm confused, I'm not, I did not win. But between Election Day on November 6th and my non-concession day on November 16th, I had a lot of time to myself. I'm going to have a lot more now. But what I did in that 10-day period was really think about what I wanted when I ran for governor. It wasn't just the title. It was the work I wanted to do. I wanted to support our public schools. I wanted to ensure our children have the most vibrant and effective education, but also that we were serving the whole child. It's why I've been so invested in issues like kinship care and aftercare, because I understand that a child's life doesn't begin at 8 a.m. and end at 3 p.m., that we have to be there for the whole child every day. And so as I thought about what I could do in the wake of the election, I actually created not one, not two, but 3 organizations. As I said, I had a lot of time on my hands. The first organization I created was Fair Fight, and you've heard about it, hopefully. It's our work to make certain that in 2020, our elections are fair. I didn't become governor of Georgia, and I think part of that was the abject and rampant voter suppression that happened in our state. I can't guarantee that I would have become governor, but I know that people who should have been heard were not. That between 54 and 85,000 people were denied the right to vote because their polling places shut down. That 87,000 people were unlawfully stripped of their right to vote because of a voter purge. That more than 1.4 million people were purged altogether, and that as recently as December, the state of Georgia almost accidentally purged another 22,000 people that we know should have stayed on the rolls, and another 100,000 that should have been entitled to stay. But the reality is things don't fix themselves. And my response in 2018 was to launch an organization that is focusing on the right to vote, because the power of leadership begins with our ability to make our voices heard, whether you're a citizen or a citizen leader or politician. And so please help us encourage people to not get overwhelmed by what's happening now and to remember to participate in our elections. And not simply worrying about who the president will be, although that's an incredibly important one. We have to think about who's running our school boards, who's making the decision of investment in local school programs and aftercare programs, how our after-school nature is taken. That begins by making sure we have student leaders who are involved, but also having school board leaders who believe in investing in these organizations. That means that everyone you serve should be participating in elections that affect the school system. They should vote in their city council and county commission elections, because often these are collaborative investments in after-school programs. And of course, they need to vote in November 2020 to make certain they're participating in national elections, but also in state legislative races, because a lot of the resources for after-school come from our state legislators. Number 2, the census. I started an organization called Fair Count, and it is solely focused on ensuring that hard-to-count communities will be included in the 2020 census. By Constitution, the census must be completed in 2020. And just today, the Census Bureau announced that they are canceling all field activities effective immediately. What that means is that we don't know how the hardest to count communities will be included, and you serve the hardest to count. You serve children who are often unseen and not included in the census, which is why the resources necessary to serve them do not appear. But you can help make sure that the families you serve know about the census and know to respond. Start phone banking. Make sure you're emailing them, but ensure that whomever you're connected with, that they understand that they must be seen and heard by the census. The way we talk about it is this: if you are not counted, you do not count. We're talking about $1.5 trillion that's allocated every year, and if young people are left out of the census, the resources that support the work that you do will not be available in 2021 and beyond. But the third is accountability. Once we've elected people, once we've completed the census, our responsibility is to hold our elected leaders accountable. I like to say that politicians are like 15-year-old girls, and I can say it because I was one. We respond to money, peer pressure, and attention. The money comes from how we allocate our resources, but the peer pressure comes when we draw attention to the needs of our community. What you all do at the National After School Association is to remind us every day that our children need services day after day, year-round, 24/7, and you are there to fill in that gap. Hold us accountable when we don't do right. phone calls, emails, but also encouraging those you serve to use their voices. We can listen, we can learn, and we can lead. And I'm excited to be here with you to make sure that happens in 2020 and beyond. Thank you so much.